So I've been playing Deadlock for about 200 hours now, and I've been getting more and more into it, and I thought it would be fun here to make a tier list video, but I'm going to make it kind of different than a lot of the other tier lists that you'll see. Instead of basing it off of the new changes that they're making for the alpha for Deadlock and all the different buffs and debuffs they're making for all the characters, this one's actually just going to be based off of just new gameplay. If you are a new person coming into this game, you don't know anything about Deadlock, and you want to try some characters, I'm going to give a good description for them and kind of put them in a tier list. Here we have OP, just easy to play, super overpowered characters. That's just going to be, you're going to feel super powerful while playing them at all times. Some more very easy to play characters, maybe not as OP as the S tier, but just easy to kind of pop in, play for the first time. You're going to feel good playing that character. There are some good high level characters that they're very good, but if you play them for the first time, it might not feel like they're that good, but they do have a high skill ceiling. So if you play them for a while, you will start to see that. There's characters that could be better that people don't usually play that often, and then there's don't ever pick this hero. I doubt, honestly, we're ever going to put anybody in that list because of the fact that pretty much every single character is usable in this game. Something I love about Deadlock is there's not really a bad character. All characters have their use and can be used in certain scenarios. All right, you guys listened to me talk enough. Let's get this started. First off, we have Seven. Seven, honestly, is just completely OP character. He's been nerfed a bunch, buffed a little bit. He really is just one of the fastest farmers in the entire game. With his ball of lightning, you can put that on a farm in one of your lanes and go and farm some minions or do another farm. He can kind of be two places at once in that sense, and he can get very overpowered very quickly. I think he still is the fastest farmer in the game, so he's definitely S tier. He's more of a just pop in and you're going to feel really OP. Wraith, also very OP. She's still being nerfed, I think, to this point. People usually ban her when I watch like the high level matches on YouTube. She's just really good. Her ult makes it so you can't do anything and you just hover in the air, and she is very high DPS character. She will kill you. Very easy to play. Shiv. Shiv's a character that likes to finish off low health characters. He's very good at finishing off kills. A little bit harder to play. You can die very easily with some misplays by Shiv. And also, I've seen him built as a tank before, and he's a pretty good tank. He is one that definitely you need to play a lot, get used to. He's kind of harder to get good at. Still a good character, though. I've seen some crazy people play as Shiv, but definitely not one you can just hop in and be good at. Mirage is pretty easy. His ult's just a teleport. You can join any team fight. Very solid character. He does very good damage with his gun. Just very easy to play, honestly. Yamato, I would say she's tough. She's in between very easy to play or higher skill set. We're gonna put at the very back end of easy to play. Her ult is basically a get out of jail free card, kind of. She's got good lifesteal. If you almost die, just pop her ult. You're invincible for like the next 5 seconds. And usually in that case, you can maybe kill who you're fighting and or get out of the situation. Pretty easy to play, but she does kind of typically have a higher skill ceiling. Bebop. Bebop's up here too. He's also a little bit of a higher skill ceiling, but base Bebop is just very dangerous. People are afraid of you. You can grab them at any point. Very easy to play, very easy to get good at because you have bombs. Bebop's very solid. With that being said, also has a really high skill ceiling for how easy he is to play, because you can get very good at grabs and make your grabs go across a whole lane almost. And he can be a game changer. You can actually do a grab with him and turn as you grab them, put a bomb on them, punch them, and punch the person that you grabbed backwards. So you can pull them into the walker and punch them behind the walker that you're defending with Bebop, as a sense of how high his skill ceiling can go. He's very good. We'll put him right there for now. Paradox. Paradox is very good if you are good at him or her. Sorry. Paradox is very hard to get good at, because you have to time her ult right and just kind of time all her abilities at the correct area. But once you can get her abilities down and get very, very good at her, she is a game changer. She is like the person you need to be killing on the other team if they have a good Paradox. She is dangerous. Very, very high skill ceiling, but someone that if you just start the game and start playing her, it will be very hard to play her. Because her ult's like Bebop's grab. You have to get it absolutely on target because it takes a while to travel to the person. And if they start running sideways and you try to get it and you don't time it right, you're just going to waste your ult for the next, I don't know, 40 seconds. Lash is pretty easy to play, but also has a high skill ceiling. I'm going to put him up here because he's more easy than he is to play, than he does have a high skill ceiling. Lash is pretty dangerous because not a lot of characters you have to worry about being above you in the air coming down to stomp on you. He does a lot of damage, and his ult can grab pretty much everybody. If you're like Asu with Apex, if you're good at movement, if you're crazy at movement, Lash is the character to play, because being very good at movement with Lash side jumping off buildings and everything, you're going to dominate. But he is a pretty easy character to just kind of come in and play as and do stomps. He's got pretty good health. He's pretty good survivability, to be honest. Ivy is super, super, super easy. I'm going to put her right here. She actually was OP for a while, but her vines got nerfed. But the vines are still crazy powerful. Her ult, she flies you around. Very, very good support character. Honestly, kind of dabbles in a little bit of DPS. If you do a little bit of a gun build, she can kill very quickly. But as a support character, you can't go wrong. She's super easy to play. You pick up your teammates. You vine, which can take out an entire lane of minions by itself. Super, super easy to play. Abrams, pretty much one of the only main tanks in the game right now. I've noticed that when you're playing at the lower ranks, you either get a good Abrams or you get a bad Abrams. And when they're a bad Abrams, they are bad. But when they're a good Abrams, they're very, very good. They're like 12 kills to 0 deaths good per game. Pretty high skill ceiling, I would say. He is a tank, so you do have more health, but he mainly relies on lifesteal. So you kind of got to be good at using your abilities at the right time to keep him alive in certain scenarios. And if you're not good at that, you will end up dying in team fights, because it's kind of your job to go in first and like create opportunities for your team, you know. He does take a little bit to get good at, but he is kind of like the only tank in the game. He's got very good health, very good lifesteal. Other people like Shiv can be built as a tank, but Abrams as a base is just a tank, you know. He does rely on punching. If you try to get good at Abrams, I will say definitely be aware of parries. People will try to parry you, so just be prepared for that. There's a lot of Abrams that are bad at playing Abrams that end up dying because a lot of his attacking is punching, and if you get parried and you die from that, a lot of Abrams kind of don't know what to do once they get parried and freak out and then get killed. So a little bit higher skill ceiling. We have Kelvin here. Kelvin, again, same as Ivy, just honestly, actually, we're going to put him up here. Crazy, crazy support character. He has an ice grenade. His gun does good damage, first of all. Has an ice grenade, which does damage. And if you put it on yourself and or your teammates, it heals you. So it has two purposes. He has a beam, which does really good damage later game. In the beginning, it's not that damaging. He's got a like skating ice path that he can skate through the air with, which is pretty much a get out of jail free card if you play him right. And he has an ult that creates a dome that you can chop off the team fight and only bring 1 or 2 people into your dome with your entire team, and you guys can just kill those people and no one else can get in that dome for a little bit. And also it heals your team and yourself when you're in the dome. Kind of an OP character if he's played right. Very easy to pop into too and just be a solid Kelvin. He's really hard to just play wrong. But if you do get very good at him, he is, again, completely OP. He is unstoppable if he's played correctly. Infernus, very, very easy to play. We're going to put him actually in front of Mirage. DPS, just kind of you pop in, you do damage. Obviously, as a DPS, you have low health, similar to Wraith. You have low health, but as long as you're aware of that, you can pretty much anybody can play him, and you're going to do good. He has a burn that once you do enough shots on somebody consecutively, he applies burn to them, which takes even more health. He's really good, very very easy to play and very good. Vindicta. Vindicta is actually the first one I'm going to put in the could be better tab. Her main thing is, again, like Shiv, she takes out low health enemies. Her ability is just a sniper, basically, in which you snipe the opponent. But it's not really good at killing people when they're at full health. You have to catch somebody like half or below to be able to kill them, and you have to be able to hit your shot. So a little bit of a higher skill ceiling, but what I've noticed is what a lot of people do in games is they'll buy abilities like silence or knockdown, and as soon as you fly in the air as Vindicta, somebody's just going to use knockdown on you. They're going to knock you down to the ground, and then you're going to be useless. They're just going to chase you down and kill you because Vindicta's got low health too. So she's a person that when she's in a game, she's very, very easy to counter. She's really not that big of a deal. Fun to play still. She's still a good character, and if played right, you can still dominate games with her. You can still be the top killer in the game, top DPS. But there are other DPSs that are going to be honestly more fun and better to play as. Grey Talon. Grey Talon's pretty easy to hop in as and do, but Grey Talon does have a really high skill ceiling. Lot of damage late game. Early game, not that much, but you can, if you're good at Grey Talon and have good experience with it, you can dominate a game pretty much like any character on here. Definitely does more damage at the end of the game. You can start like two-shotting people and killing them towards the end of a game. Her ult too is a bird, and she can just almost fly across maps. So if there's someone half health and you're not even in the right lane to join the team fight, you can just ult and send your bird over there and kill them, chase them down. She's pretty easy, but definitely does have a higher skill ceiling, so I'm going to put her kind of in the middle of this pack, I think. Definitely lower skill ceiling than Paradox. Paradox probably has the highest we've done so far. Moe and Krill. Moe and Krill's up here. We're going to put him right here. Also a tank. Has a lot of lifesteal, but relies more on his automatic shotgun than he does punching and tanking. Has a lot more movement than Abrams too, which makes him a lot easier to play with Abrams. And when you're in a scenario, it's kind of hard to get out of it unless you're good. Moe and Krill, if you're stuck, you can kind of go underground. You have faster movement than most people, and unless they have fleet foot, they're not going to be able to chase you down really, or an ability. So you can get out of a lot more situations than you would be able to with Abrams. His ult too, you ult somebody, it just stops him completely. It does only do one person, so if you do that in a team fight and other people are shooting you, you can die, but you could ult someone and it stops them from using any of their abilities and makes them just stay there and look at you while they're taking damage. It's super easy to use. Moe and Krill is one of the easiest tanks. Super fun too. He can basically shut down any character. He's a character that if you're playing a game and there is a Haze on the other team that is 10k above everybody else and they're completely dominating the game and they're carrying their team, no matter how far down you are money-wise to Haze, he will still be able to shut down Haze. You could do a team fight. Haze comes in with her ult trying to, team wipe your entire team. If you just run in there with Metal Skin or something like that, go in and ult her, it'll completely shut her down. He is a person that no matter what money he is, he can completely change the course of a game if he's played right. Very, very good. Pocket, again, pretty solid character, really good at getting out of almost any situation. He has so many escape options with his abilities. Not very good at DPS unless he's played correctly. Like Paradox, a lot of his abilities, he can be very, very dangerous if he is played by like the top 1% of people. Very, very high skill ceiling, but not as easy to hop in and play, but he is still a very good character. Haze, same thing as Infernus, literally just like almost OP. Just pop in, your bullets do crazy damage. You have double submachine guns. Your ult is basically Reaper's ult from Overwatch. It's so easy. You just pop in, play him. One of the easiest characters to pop in and play, honestly. Hayes is the first one I'm sure most people will try when they try to play this game. Lady Geist, high skill ceiling. A lot of her abilities use her health. Not as high of a skill ceiling as Pocket and Paradox, so that's where I'm going to put her. But yeah, a lot of her abilities use her health, so you kind of got to be smart with her abilities. But her ult switches your health with an opponent. So if you use a bunch of your health, put yourself at low health, and then right before you get killed by someone attacking you, you switch your health, boom, suddenly you're at full health and they're almost at nothing. So can change the course of a fight, definitely, very easily. But if played wrong, could also get herself killed very easily. I've seen a lot of Lady Geist try to be super aggressive and just absolutely get themselves killed. So got to be smart with Lady Geist. A little bit harder to play. Not as easy to just pop in and start winning games, but she is still fun. She is still fun. And she can be very, very good. Most of these players are honestly left or good. Viscous, I keep calling him Vicious. Viscous, I'm going to put back here. Well, let's put him up here. He can be used as a tank. Very easy to get out of situations with his ult when he rolls into a ball. Can shut down people with his ult. When he rolls in a ball, if he bumps into you, he shuts down whatever you're doing. Pretty easy to pop in as and play. Does have a little bit of a higher skill ceiling, but still pretty easy to just kind of pop in and just be good at the game. Pretty easy character to play. He's got pretty good abilities, just kind of throwing goo everywhere. You can save your teammates too. Pretty good character, honestly. He's definitely top tier. McGinnis, super easy. Definitely a top tier character. She has a turret build where you can have like 5 or 6 turrets out at the same time. She's got a wall. She's really easy at just like defending a lane by herself, for sure. She can just be in a solo lane, put turrets down. Your ult can zone people off of the walkers. Very, very easy to just pop in and being able to survive. She is slow, so make sure when you play as her to not overcommit, because if you're trying to run away from people, really your only get out of jail free card is going to be your wall if you can block them from you. But other than that, you're not going to be able to get away because you're so slow. So be careful about overcommitting. If it's Lash or something, Lash will just jump over the wall. Wraith or Vindicta will just fly over the wall. Grey Talon will fly over the wall. So you got to be smart about who you're fighting. But definitely an easy character to pop in and play. Dynamo, again, completely OP. He's, I think, the last OP character that we're going to put up there. Warden's not up there. Dynamo his ult is actually a game changer. In lane, in the very beginning, he's got a heal, so he can keep people in lane and make it so you don't have to go back. So you can stay kind of up in money and you don't fall behind. He does good damage. He is a good tank. You got to make sure you don't overcommit. But his ult, when he gets it, if there is a team fight and you can get most of the enemy team together and you come in and pop their ult, it completely stops everything they're doing. They take damage and they're stuck in a black hole for like the next 5 seconds. So if you can catch a full team in it, I've had games where we were losing the game and we suddenly got one ult where Dynamo got almost their entire team in it. We killed their entire team within 5 seconds, and then we won the game off that. Dynamo has the power, based off his ult, actually, I'm going to put him up. Based off his ult, he has the power to completely win a game by himself. He's not as fun to play, I will say, as Hayes and Furnace, like Mirage, Kelvin, some of those people. But definitely just an actual OP character. His ult is insane. Definitely needs to be nerfed, probably. Warden is also going to be down here with Pocket and Paradox. He is really, really, really good if you are very good at his character. His ult takes a while to activate. His gun does pretty good damage. He's got a claw that can completely shut people down. And he's got an Alchemist Flask. And I actually forgot what his third ability was. But the ult taking a while to activate, if you're a new player, it's going to get you killed a lot. He's not as big of a tank as Abrams and stuff. He's kind of like a support character. So he's not going to survive that long if you get caught out. He's not that fast. So if you get caught out, you will die. Definitely hard to play in the beginning, but I have seen some wardens that carry games by themselves. Very, very, very dangerous of a character if he's in the right hands. Pocket, Paradox, and Warden, these three, I'd say, are the, if we're talking about people that are high skill level for characters, these three are like the top three characters in the game. Because if they're high skill level, they will carry games with these three characters for sure. Well, there's my tier list, guys. Like I said, honestly, there's not even one hero in the game that you should never pick. They're all pretty solid if played correctly. Some are harder to play than others, like this list. And Vindicta, there are better DPSs to play as. If you want to fly high and snipe, I mean, she's still good. She'll still do damage. But if you're going for DPS, there are better ones. And then I would say these four, honestly, you can't go wrong. If you play as them, you have the ability to completely dominate a game pretty easily. If you don't, it's still no big deal. Still a solid character to play as. You're still going to be dangerous. You play these four characters, the other team will be watching you at all times and being careful of your movements based off you just being this character. Hope you guys liked it. If you have any disagreements, anything, any opinions, I'd be happy to hear them in the comments. And thanks for watching. Cool.